right, detectives. We've cracked almost every case the Arima family could throw at us. If you've missed any part of the investigation, go back to the earlier files because this story builds on what we've already uncovered. Now, let's quickly review our last tool, Mr. Arima, before we move on to a brand new mystery. Arima is like that old school detective who solves cases using 3 secret weapons, AR, I, and MA. AR, autoregressive, keeps an eye on the past. It says, the clues lie in yesterday's evidence. I, integrated, that's the cleanup crew. It removes trends and makes our data behave. No funny business, only stationarity. MA, moving average, that's the fixer. It corrects past mistakes using forecast errors. I messed up last time, but I'll use that mistake to get smarter. But even the sharpest detectives have weak spots. Arima's problem? It's picky. You've got to pick the right P-D-Q combo, and if your data has seasonality, oh boy, you'll need Sarima, which adds even more parameters. Worse, Arima assumes the world doesn't change too much. But what if your series has evolving trends or seasonal patterns that shift over time? That's when Arima starts sweating under the interrogation light. So, our next mission, detectives, is to find a smoother, simpler way to catch the pattern. Something that doesn't overthink every little detail. And that's where Holt Winters enters the case. But before meeting the hero, we must first meet his humble cousin, Simple Exponential Smoothing. Simple Exponential Smoothing, or SES, doesn't like drama. No trend, no seasonality, just smooth, steady clues. SES says, why look too far back when the freshest clues are right in front of you? So instead of treating every past observation equally, SES gives more importance to recent ones and lets older clues fade away exponentially. Think of it like this. The newest clue shines like a bright light, while the older ones slowly dim with time. But they're still there, quietly influencing the final decision. Now, want a forecast that gives more weight to recent observations. So instead of a plain average, we'll take a weighted average. And here, I must tell a basic thing about weighted averages. You might know it already. The sum of the coefficients should equal 1. 1! But in exponential smoothing, we want the weights to decline exponentially. Think about it. How can we achieve this? If we just keep the ratios of the subsequent coefficients same, we'll get what we want. That's the key. Think about it. If W2 divided by W1 equals, say, P, and W3 divided by W2 also equals P, our W2 equals W1, multiply by P, and W3 equals W2 multiplied by P, which when substituted become W1 multiplied by P squared. You see how the coefficients are related exponentially. And for exponential decay, that is giving less importance to older clues, we put a condition on P that it has to be less than 1. Looking at the coefficients, we can now substitute W2 and W3. For this instance, assume we have infinite terms. Yes, I am asking you to assume because what I am about to derive will receive comments from some of you over sharp detective twats that our series infinite. Anyways, doing some basic maths, we easily get the value of W1 in terms of P. Substituting the value of W1 back to the equation gives us something like this. Here P is the ratio that controls how quickly past weights decay, and 1 minus P is the weight given to the most recent observation. The algorithm in libraries like stats model assumes alpha to be the weight given to the most recent observations. Well, we got to abide by them after all. It's their algorithms we are stalking. So, the forecast at YT plus 1 finally looks something like this. Here comes the interesting part. The term in brackets is a weighted sum of past observations with ratio 1 minus alpha. Call it the level at time t, and the magic. Level at t minus 1 is also present inside the level at t. This recursive nature is the magic. Before we move forward in this investigation, I need to clear up something very important. There are too many fancy terms floating around here. Level, forecast, smoothed value. And I know it can make your brain feel like it's chasing suspects in a dark alley. So let's slow down and simplify the case. And in simple exponential smoothing, the rule is actually very simple. The forecast for the next time step is just the current level. What I think will happen next is whatever my current belief is. But how do we get this level in the first place? That's where the smoothing formula comes in. So the detective's current belief is made from two things: the latest clue, the latest observation, the previous belief from the past, and we mix them using alpha. So if we combine both ideas, the prediction for the next value is just a weighted mix of the latest observation and the previous smoothed belief. My next guess depends partly on what just happened, and partly on what I believed before. And yes, I know I'm repeating this again, but trust me, from this point onward, the models will only get more intense. Holt's method, Holt-Winters, seasonal components, trend equations. So if this basic rule isn't crystal clear, the rest of the investigation will feel like solving a mystery with no clues. So if this part still feels foggy in your mind, do yourself a favor. Rewind the video. Watch the example again. Follow the calculations slowly. Because once this clicks, the rest of the smoothing family will suddenly start making perfect sense. Now, detectives, time to put theory into action. We've talked enough. Now let's solve a real case. Ice cream, sales forecasting. Because what's better than data? Data that sells ice cream. Haha. Now, to understand the concept clearly, we're going to assume alpha varies 0.3. Yes, in the real world, models are smart enough to find the best alpha using maximum likelihood estimation, MLE. But today, we don't want a black box solving the case. We want us, the actual detectives, to do that ourselves. Our first observation is 112 ice creams sold on day 1. Now comes the big question: what will happen on day 2? But wait, we only have one clue. With just one data point, no trend, no pattern, no history. Mathematically speaking, we cannot smooth a single point. There's nothing to average it with. No past, no comparison, no story. So what do? We make a simple and honest assumption. If I've only seen 112 so far, my best guess for tomorrow is also 112. Yes, we assume this. Not because it's perfect, but because it's the only reasonable starting point. Think of it like this. A detective sees only one clue and says, I don't have enough evidence to change my belief yet. So the belief stays exactly where it is. But now, once the second data point arrives, the real game begins. Now we can finally say, let me mix the past and the present and start smoothing. And that's where SES truly comes alive. So what do we have so far? 2 data points, alpha and level at day 1, which also is the prediction of day 2. I must repeat this aloud. Level at time 1 is nothing but prediction for the next time frame, that is t+1. Always remember this. I myself took some time to wrap my head around, and in the end, it's the inventors and not the maths responsible for confusion, if any. Now, to get the prediction at day 3, it's just simple maths. I will do it in silence and you can watch it and learn. All right, detectives, now things finally get interesting. Our next clue arrives. Day 3 actual sales equals 86. That's clearly lower than 112. Now, before we even touch the formula, I want to ask you something. What does your intuition say? Sales were steady at 112 and now suddenly dropped to 86. So what should happen to our next prediction? It should go down. But here's the real question. By how much? Should we jump straight to 86 or move slowly from 112 towards 86? This is where we don't panic. We don't say, oh no, sales crashed. We completely change our belief. Instead, we calmly adjust, but not blindly. And that's exactly what alpha controls. So, instead of guessing, let's go to the board and calculate this properly, because intuition tells us direction, but math tells us how much. Now, we understand the concept, so there's no going back. We keep on taking the actual values one by one and keep on changing our beliefs steadily, each time predicting what's going to happen next. And when we apply this logic to our entire series, detectives, we can see this messy algorithm falling to its place, unraveling right in front of us. So far, we've been using alpha equals 0.3, but who said we have to stick to that? Alpha is just a number. It can be 0.1, it can be 0.7, it can be anything between 0 and 1. So what happens if we change it? If we choose a high alpha like 0.7, we are saying, I trust the latest clue a lot, so the prediction will move quickly. The detective reacts fast, almost like this new clue must be important. But if we choose a low alpha like 0.1, we are saying, I'm not fully convinced yet. So the prediction will move very slowly. The detective becomes cautious. One clue isn't enough to change my belief. So here's the golden rule. Choose high alpha if you want to trust new data more, or choose low alpha if you trust past belief more. Or in detective language, high alpha means impulsive detective and low alpha means patient detective. All right, detectives, now we step into the unknown. We've predicted one step ahead. But what happens if we go further? What about predicting 2 steps ahead? To predict 2 steps ahead, we need the level at time t plus 1. Using our formula, we hit a problem. We don't know why t plus 1. It's the future. The clue hasn't arrived yet. So what do? We make our best possible guess. And guess what? The same thing will happen again and again. This means all future forecasts are equal to the last level. No matter how far you go, t plus 2, t plus 3, t plus 100, the answer remains the same. The detective says, if I don't get any new clues, why would I change my belief? So he simply repeats the last known estimate. With this, we've cracked the case using simple exponential smoothing. We now know how it thinks, how it updates, and why, without new clues, it simply stays flat. Pause. But let's be honest, real-world data is rarely this simple. Ice cream sales don't just stay flat. They rise in summer, they fall in winter, and sometimes they follow a clear trend over time. And that's where our current detective, SES, starts struggling. Because SES assumes everything is stable, but the real world says nothing stays the same. So the question becomes, what if the data is trending upward or downward? What if patterns repeat every week, every month, every year? Do we still stay flat? Or can we trust a smarter detective? In the next episode, we upgrade our investigation. We meet Holt's method, the detective who understands trend Holt winters, the master detective who cracks seasonality. Now the case won't just be about smoothing. It will be about understanding patterns over time. So stay tuned, stay hooked, stay curious, and if you're enjoying this journey, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free for you. But for me, it's proof that this investigation is actually helping someone learn. Until next time.